من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Honorable ulama ikram, respected brothers, elders, mothers and sisters, as Sheikh has introduced the topic to you, depression versus contentment. While the world continues to progress technologically, I swear by Allah, faster than its growth in technology, it is retrogressing morally and spiritually. We find ourselves being exposed to a society that has become so immoral. Like Sayyidina Muawiyah radiyallahu anhu said, "Ma'rufu zamanina munkaru zamanin qad madha, wa munkaruhu ma'rufu zamanin lam ya'ti." Such deep words, food for thought. Sayyidina Muawiyah radiyallahu anhu said, "Ma'rufu zamanina," the good of our times were the sins of the previous times. What you and I consider as noble, as pious, as righteous, was considered a sin, a vice and transgression in the previous times. وَمَعْرُوفُ زَمَانِنَا مُنْكَرُ زَمَانٍ قَدْ مَضَى وَمُنْكَرُهُ مَعْرُوفُ زَمَانٍ لَمْ يَأْتِ. And what we consider as vice and as evil and as wrong today will be considered noble and pious in the time that is to come. That is why in Bukhari there is one commentary where one Sahabi addressing his companion said, "إِنَّكُمْ لَتَعْمَلُونَ أَعْمَالًا هِيَ أَدَقُّ فِي أَعْيُنِكُمْ مِنَ الشَّعْرِ كُنَّا نَعُدُّهَا فِي عَهْدِ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ صَلَى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ مِنَ الْمُوبِقَاتِ." That, "O my companions, I see you perpetrating many crimes which you trivialize. I swear by Allah, in the time of Nabi alayhi salam, these were considered as the most destructive crimes." And as we draw closer to Qiyamah, this continues. So while the world progresses definitely in technology, like one scholar mentioned, while the world boasts that now we are traveling by air, forgetting not that while we are now traveling by air, we have also polluted the air of Allah with guna. So in mid-air wine is being consumed, in mid-air zina is taking place. Indeed there is growth and technology, but coupled with that is the retrogressing in morals and values. While life seems to become easier theoretically, in theory when you analyze life today, we have such advanced modes of transport, such easy ways of communication. In theory life seems easier than previous times, but practically life has become more challenging than the previous times. Tension, depression and frustration has wallah become the order of the day. Happiness, joy and prosperity is something of the past. May I repeat what I said? Tension, depression and frustration has become the order of the day. Happiness, joy and prosperity has become something of the past. Never mind becoming a victim to any tragedy, which perhaps might warrant depression. A person met in an accident, lost a beloved, lost his wealth, lost a job. Some tragedy, some calamity, some catastrophe came in his way, which definitely warrants depression. Never mind the tragedies that, a person becomes a victim to any tragedy. The very fears that haunt the mind of an average man is sufficient depression. The very fears that haunt the mind of every individual that are ever lurking. I must never become poor. I must never be diagnosed of cancer. This must never happen. The fears that are ever lurking in the heart and the mind of every man is sufficient depression in the life of every person. Like the poet says, I wish you could understand Arabic. You can appreciate these couplets if you understand Arabic. He says, he presented in the surgery of a physician, سألت من الأطباء خبيرا ذات يوم مما شيبي. سألت من الأطباء خبيرا ذات يوم مما شيبي. فقال بلغموا. فقلت له على غير احتشام لقد اختأت فيما قلت بلغموا. He says, I went to the doctor and I asked him, the doctor, assess me, I'm gone white. What is the reason? Mimma shaybi. Like it comes in the authentic ahadith that Nabi alayhi salam said, when Nabi alayhi salam was told, Shibta ya Rasulullah, O Nabi of Allah, you are aging, you are becoming white. Nabi alayhi salam said, Shayyabatni al-hudu wa akhawatuha. It is the frightening description of Qiyamah in Surah Hud, which makes my hair white. And we learn in the authentic ahadith that there were 20 strands of white hair on the blessed body of Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. And another poem comes to mind while I'm saying this here. The poet says, لَنَا خَطٌّ وَلِلْأَيَّامِ خَطُّ لَنَا خَطٌّ وَلِلْأَيَّامِ خَطُّ وبينهما مخالفة المداد فأكتبه سوادا في بياضي وتكتبه بياضا في سوادي. I wish you can understand Arabic. Really, you know, it has to be understood in Arabic. The time says, the poet says, I have a pen and the time has a pen. The era in which we are living, it has a pen. And as we are talking, our time is just moving away. That is why Hassan Basri said regarding the Sahaba, أدركت أقواما كان أحدهم أشح على عمره منه على درهمه. That I sat in the company of Sahaba and I found them more possessive over their time than their wealth. I found them, they were more possessive. They clinged on to that. They were flexible with their money. They were not hard on their money, but they were very hard on their time. Nobody could take time from them. أدركت أقواما كان أحدهم أشح على عمره منه على درهمه. So the poet says, لنا خط, I have a pen and the time has a pen. وبينهما مخالفة المداد. The only difference is the ink. فأكتبه سوادا في بياضي. My pen has black ink. I write with black ink on white paper. And the time writes with white ink on black hair. فأكتبه سوادا في بياضي وتكتبه بياضا في سوادي. That is the difference. Nonetheless, he says, I asked the doctor examined me, why am I gone white? So he said, بل غمو, you have a lot of phlegm in your body. فقلت له على غير احتشام لقد اخطأت فيما قلت بل غمو. Instantly I said, doctor, I respect your expertise. You need to understand Arabic to appreciate what has been said. I appreciate your expertise, but definitely I think this got nothing to do with phlegm. Bal ghamu, instead this is depression. This is the result of depression in my body. This is what has happened. Tap any person, let him pour his heart out to you. Every man is in crisis. إني رأيتك جالسا مستقبلي فعلمت أنك للهموم قرين. Oh my brother, I seen you sitting before me. The very gesture of your face indicated depression. هون عليك وكن بربك واثقا فأخو التوكل شأنه التهوين. Take life easy, calm down, relax. As in Australia they say, no worries. No worries, that's the term. I remember when we were there, I had to give a talk at a particular university. I met a man, he says, I asked him, where are you going? I said, I've got to go to the QUT, Queensland University of Technology. So greet him, how are you? No worries, you go straight, you come to a roundabout, you take a right, you carry on straight, you come. I didn't know what the man was saying. No worries, هون عليك, relax, relax. وَكُمْ بِرَبِّكَ وَاثِقًا. And put your reliance on Allah. فَأَخُ التَّوَكُّلِ شَأْنُهُ التَّهْوِينُ. For verily the one that relies on Allah takes life easy. ترح الأذى عن نفسه في رزقه لما تيقن أنه مذمون. The only way to avert financial depression, the only way to avert and divert financial depression is to convince yourself that Allah is the sustainer. When you've convinced yourself that Allah is the sustainer, now the fluctuation in the currency, the fake predictions of the economists, the competitors in the market will not make a difference to you. So this is the modern day poverty, if we can put it that way. That in the midst of affluence there is no joy. In the midst of comfort and luxury there is absolutely no joy. This is the modern day poverty which stares at every person. And perhaps the hadith of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam held the hand of Abu Dharr, and he said, Ya Aba Dharrin, atara anna kathrat al-mal huwa al-ghina, wa qillat al-mal huwa al-faqr. O Abu Dharr, do you consider excess wealth, excess of provisions as wealth, and lack of provisions as poverty? I said, O Nabi of Allah, that is the apparent definition of wealth and poverty. That if you have lot, you are successful, you are healthy, you are prosperous. And if you don't have, then you have a depressed life, you have a sick life. Nabi alayhi salam said, no, Abu Dharr, you have your facts muddled. Let me set the record correctly. As they say, just to put the record correctly. Nabi alayhi salam then said in the riwayat of Ibn Hibban, إِنَّمَا الْغِنَى غِنَى الْقَلْبِ وَمَنْ كَانَ الْغِنَى فِي قَلْبِهِ فَلَا يَضُرُّهُ مَا لَقِيَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. No, Abu Dharr, wealth in essence is the contentment of heart. Wealth in essence is the contentment of a heart, and no Niagara Falls and no Victoria Falls can give you that contentment that is divine from Allah. وَمَنْ كَانَ الْغِنَى فِي قَلْبِهِ. The one who has contentment in his heart, فَلَا يَضُرُّهُ مَا لَقِيَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. Then no amount of calamities and tragedies will harm this man, will depress this man. Nothing in this world will depress this man. You see, today every man has a different perception of contentment. Every person feels, some feel that if I get married and I have a beautiful wife, that is the goal of my life.